We hear so much about AI changing the world.
Mm-hmm.
But what happens when building these super smart systems,
Yeah.
it doesn't quite match the hype?
Right.
Like even big players,
Like who?
companies like OpenAI,
Okay.
Google, and Anthropic,
Okay.
they're starting to hit some roadblocks
I see.
as they try to build bigger and better AI.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because these companies, they're making these massive investments, but
Right.
they're encountering some pretty fundamental limitations.
Really?
Yeah, like they're hitting a ceiling
Oh, wow.
of what's currently possible with the technology.
So let's break these roadblocks down.
Okay.
What's holding them back?
Well, one of the biggest challenges is data.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
actually, the lack of data.
Okay.
These AI models.
Yeah.
They're trained on huge amounts of data.
Right.
And it's all scraped from the internet.
Okay.
But that easily available data
Right.
is starting to dry up.
So it's like they've eaten all the low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they're struggling to find new sources of nourishment.
Precisely.
Right.
And just creating more data synthetically,
Right.
that's not enough.
Really?
It has to be unique,
Okay.
and it has to be high quality,
I see.
and it has to reflect the real world.
So how do they get that?
Well, one expert in AI strategy put it this way.
Okay.
We can generate quantity synthetically,
Okay.
yet we struggle to get unique, high-quality data sets without human guidance,
That's interesting.
especially when it comes to language.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
Garbage in, garbage out.
exactly.
But even with the right data,
Uh-huh.
isn't there a huge cost involved in training these models?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, how much are we talking?
Training a top-tier AI model,
Yeah.
it could soon cost $100 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, it's astronomical.
That's insane.
So this bigger is better approach,
Right.
it's hitting a financial wall.
Okay.
Not just because of the data drought,
Yeah.
but the sheer cost of it.
Wow. 100 billion? Yeah. I mean, that makes you wonder if this level of investment
Right.
is even sustainable
Mm-hmm.
in the long run. You know,
Yeah.
is it possible that this financial reality,
Yeah,
that this will force a shift in how we develop AI?
it could.
Like maybe moving away from these massive, all-encompassing models
Yeah.
towards something more focused.
It's definitely a possibility.
Okay.
The industry might start to prioritize efficiency
Okay.
and target very specific problems
I see.
rather than just trying to create the ultimate AI.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And this brings us to another interesting point, right?
What's that?
That just scaling up these models
Uh-huh.
that will automatically lead to these groundbreaking advancements.
Right.
The idea is being challenged now.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
this concept of scaling laws.
What is that?
The idea that bigger models just automatically perform better.
Okay.
A lot of people think these scaling laws,
Right.
they will continue to hold true.
Right.
But even people on the cutting edge of AI,
Yeah.
they acknowledge that there's no guarantee.
So it's not a given that just throwing more data
Right.
and more computing power at the problem
Yeah.
will magically lead to better results.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any concrete examples of this?
Like where it's just not working.
Yeah, like this plateauing performance.
Yeah. So we've seen some instances
Okay.
where these massive models,
Yeah.
they just haven't lived up to the hype.
Yeah.
One example is OpenAI's new model.
What's it called?
It's called Orion.
Orion.
And it didn't perform as well as they'd hoped
Really?
on coding tests.
So even with all the resources they poured into it,
Yeah.
they're still hitting these snags.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
And we've seen other signs of this shift.
Like what?
Well, Anthropic delayed the release of their Claude 3.5 Opus model,
Mm-hmm.
which was highly anticipated.
Right.
And Google's Gemini updates,
Yeah.
while they are significant,
Yeah.
they seem to be focusing more on usability
Mm.
and practical application.
So like making it more user-friendly.
Yeah,
Okay.
rather than fundamental breakthroughs in the underlying model.
It's like you hit a point of diminishing returns.
That's a great way to put it.
You can keep investing, but the gains,
Right.
they just taper off.
Exactly. And it seems like these setbacks, they're
Yeah.
forcing these AI companies
Yeah.
to rethink their strategies
Interesting.
and explore some new approaches.
So if throwing more data and money at the problem isn't working,
Mm-hmm.
what are they doing differently?
Well, for one, they're shifting their focus.
Oh,
Instead of just going for larger and larger models,
Right.
they're exploring these alternative paths
Okay.
to advance AI capabilities.
I'm intrigued. Like, what do those paths look like?
Well, we're seeing a move toward more specialized applications,
Okay.
like tailored for specific industries or
Right.
tasks.
Like what?
Think AI-powered tools for healthcare,
Okay.
education,
Oh.
finance, solutions that address real-world needs,
Right.
rather than just aiming for some all-encompassing AI.
So a more targeted approach.
Exactly.
Instead of trying to create one that's a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
that might end up being a master of none.
Right. It's about leveraging AI's strengths
Right.
in specific domains
Okay.
where it can really excel.
I see.
And this ties into another interesting trend,
What's that?
the rise of AI agents.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned those earlier.
I did.
Remind me, what are they again?
So AI agents,
Yeah.
they're essentially programs
Okay.
that are designed to perform specific tasks
Okay.
for users.
Like what kind of tasks?
Like scheduling appointments,
Fine.
managing emails, or even helping you learn new skills.
So like a highly specialized AI assistant.
Exactly.
Huh.
Think of it like this.
Yeah.
Instead of having this one giant AI brain that's trying to do everything,
Yeah.
we might end up with a whole ecosystem
Okay.
of smaller, more specialized AI agents.
Okay, all working together.
I see. So a more distributed approach.
Exactly.
And that could be more efficient,
Okay.
more adaptable.
Right.
Yes.
Allowing AI to integrate into our lives
Yeah.
seamlessly
Okay.
without needing this one massive system.
It sounds like this shift in focus
Yeah.
also has implications for this ultimate goal
Oh, yeah.
of artificial general intelligence.
Right. AGI,
Yeah.
that concept of an AI system
Uh-huh.
with human-level intelligence,
Okay.
or even surpassing it.
Yeah.
That's been a driving force for a lot of researchers.
Right.
But these recent challenges,
Uh-huh.
they're kind of prompting this reassessment
Yeah.
of how we get to AGI.
So is the dream of AGI starting to fade?
I don't know if it's fading,
Okay.
but it's more about recalibrating expectations
Okay.
and acknowledging just how complex this challenge is.
Yeah.
Some experts are starting to think
Yeah.
that just focusing on scaling up existing models
Yeah.
might not be the best way.
To achieve AGI.
Exactly.
So instead of just building bigger and bigger models,
Yeah.
what are some of the alternative approaches?
To getting to AGI,
Yeah.
well, there's growing interest in developing AI systems
Okay.
that can reason better,
Okay.
understand and respond to really complex instructions,
Right.
and even learn and adapt in real time.
So moving beyond pattern recognition
Right.
and toward actual cognitive abilities.
Exactly.
So we're talking about like a fundamental shift
Yeah.
in how we think about and approach AI. It's not just about brute force computation anymore.
Right.
It's about creating systems that think more like us.
Precisely. And this shift in thinking,
Yeah.
it highlights something else that's really important.
What's that?
The human element of AI development.
Okay. Unpack that a little bit.
What do I mean by human element?
Yeah.
Well, we have to remember that AI,
Yeah.
it's not just a technological pursuit.
Good.
It's deeply intertwined with human values,
Okay.
ethics,
Uh-huh.
societal impact.
Yeah.
We really need to think about the implications of these
Yeah.
powerful technologies
Right.
and make sure that they're developed
Yeah.
and used responsibly.
So it's not just about building cool tech.
Right.
It's about considering the consequences
Yes.
and making sure it aligns with our values.
Exactly. And this leads us to a question
Okay.
that a lot of people are thinking about.
What's that?
The impact of AI on the job market.
Right. That's the big one.
Yeah.
Are robots going to take our jobs?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
And honestly, AI is probably going to automate certain tasks and roles,
Right.
and that could lead to job displacement
Okay.
in some sectors.
Right.
It's a complex issue.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no easy answers.
So it's not just a simple equation
Right.
of AI equals job losses.
No.
It's more nuanced than that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the key will be to adapt
Right.
and acquire new skills
Oh, yeah.
that are in demand.
In this evolving landscape. So we shouldn't fear AI as this job-stealing monster.
Right.
But think about how to prepare ourselves
Yes.
for the future job market
Exactly.
and what skills are going to be valuable.
The skills that will be most in demand
Yeah.
are those uniquely human skills,
Like what?
like creativity,
Okay.
critical thinking,
Uh-huh.
problem solving,
Okay.
emotional intelligence,
Okay.
the ability to work well with others.
So embrace our humanity,
Yes.
not try to compete with machines
Right.
on their own turf.
Exactly.
Focus on what we do best
Yes.
and figure out ways to use AI as a tool
Exact.
to augment our own abilities.
That's a great way to put it.
It's about finding the right balance
Yeah.
between our ingenuity
Uh-huh.
and technological innovation.
I think that's a great way to think about it.
This all makes sense,
Yeah.
but I have to admit it can feel a little overwhelming.
I understand.
The AI landscape is changing so rapidly.
It is.
It's hard to keep up.
It really is.
What advice would you give to someone who wants to stay informed?
And engaged in this world.
Yeah.
First and foremost,
Yeah.
don't be afraid to just dive in and learn.
Okay.
There's so many resources out there.
Like what?
Online books,
Uh-huh.
articles,
Mm-hmm.
podcasts like this one.
Of course.
Start by exploring the areas of AI that you're most interested in.
So don't try to boil the ocean.
Exactly.
Focus on what you like
Right.
and go from there.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to become an expert overnight. Just take it one step at a time.
Okay, so stay curious, stay informed.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on what interests you.
Yeah.
That seems manageable.
It is.
But let's be real. All this talk about AI,
Uh-huh.
it can feel abstract sometimes.
It can.
Are there like concrete examples?
Of how it's impacting our lives.
Yeah, how AI is already at work today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. AI is already having a big impact across a bunch of different industries, like healthcare, for example.
Okay, healthcare. It seems like every day there's a new headline about AI revolutionizing medicine.
And for good reason, AI is being used to detect diseases like cancer earlier and with more accuracy than ever before.
Really?
Yeah, in some cases, it's actually outperforming human doctors.
Wow. So AI isn't replacing doctors.
Right.
It's giving them a new set of tools.
Exactly, like a powerful new lens
Okay.
to see things they might have missed.
What else is happening in healthcare?
Well, AI is also being used to accelerate drug discovery.
Okay.
Imagine algorithms searching through tons of data
Yeah.
to identify potential drug candidates
Okay.
that could drastically speed up
Yeah.
the development of new treatments.
That's incredible.
It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about the potential
Yeah, sure.
to impact human health.
Right, like potentially helping us live longer, healthier lives.
Exactly. And it's not just healthcare either.
What else?
AI is also making waves in education.
Really?
Yeah.
How so?
Well, think about AI-powered tutoring systems. They can provide personalized instruction
Okay.
tailored to each student's individual needs.
And learning style.
Exactly. They can pinpoint areas where a student might be struggling
Okay.
and then offer targeted support,
That's amazing.
especially for students who might not have access to one-on-one help.
So it's like having your own personal tutor.
Yeah, 24/7.
That could be huge for education.
And it's not just for students.
What about teachers?
AI can also help teachers by automating things like grading
Okay.
and lesson planning.
That frees up more time for them.
Exactly.
Just focus on other things.
Like interactive and engaging teaching.
Sounds like a win-win for everyone.
Well, it really does. Are there any other industries you're curious about?
Well, manufacturing comes to mind.
That's a great example.
Robots and AI systems are already working in factories
Alongside human workers.
to boost efficiency,
Yeah.
productivity, safety.
It's transforming the industry.
And what about transportation?
That's another one that's ripe for disruption.
Well, with self-driving cars and all.
Exactly. Self-driving cars have the potential
Yeah.
to completely revolutionize how we get around.
Making it safer,
Yeah.
more efficient, more accessible.
Absolutely. It's exciting to think about a future where commuting is actually relaxing.
Instead of stressful.
Mm-hmm.
It is exciting to think about all this potential,
Mm-hmm.
but we can't just focus on the good stuff.
You're absolutely right. It's important to be realistic,
Yeah.
to see both the potential benefits
Yeah.
and the potential risks.
So what are some of the things we should be worried about?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is jobs.
Like people losing their jobs.
Exactly. As AI gets more sophisticated,
Mhm.
it will likely automate more tasks,
Right.
which means job losses in certain sectors.
It's a tough issue.
There's no easy answers.
And it's not just about jobs either.
What else?
There are concerns about bias in AI.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
If the data is biased,
Right, the algorithms will be biased too.
and that can perpetuate existing inequalities.
Absolutely. We have to make sure these systems
Right.
are developed ethically,
Responsible.
fairly, transparently, and we need to hold them accountable.
So it comes back to human values,
It does.
guiding the development of this technology.
It's not just about the tech itself.
Exactly.
It's about how we use it.
And the principles we follow.
The future of AI is not set in stone.
That's a good point.
We are shaping it with every choice we make,
Every line of code.
every conversation we have.
So to our listeners out there,
Yeah,
this isn't something you just watch from the sidelines.
you're right.
We all have a role to play in shaping this future.
Absolutely.
Stay informed, get involved, and speak up.
I couldn't agree more. The future of AI,
Yeah.
it's a shared responsibility.
We need to create it thoughtfully, and ethically.
Absolutely.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive.
It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for joining us, everyone.
Until next time.
See you then.